Okay, in this class, I'll start off with a very simple topic, introduction to cell. Okay, I'm sure you must have covered it in anatomy. So this will be a very brief class and a very simple class. Please make sure to tell your, classmates, whoever are present near you and all of them to attend classes because it will get much more complex as we keep going. And if you start cutting classes and start missing classes, it will become more and more harder as we keep going. So cell जो है very important component of our body. तो आप सेल को देखें तो by evolution there are two main types of cell. You have a prokaryotic cell and you have a eukaryotic cell. Okay, prokaryotes are those cells जिनके अंदर nucleus is not well defined. Okay, that is why they are called prokaryotes. Before nucleus बोलते हैं prokaryon essentially. Okay, they do not have a well defined nucleus and they possess a fairly simple structure. This is mainly your bacteria and all. यहाँ पर इन लोगों का रिप्रोडक्शन भी अलग रहता है. So I'll show you one small image wherein you'll be able to understand the differences between. Okay, see. So these are the differences between eukaryotic and prokaryotic cell. Now you can read all of this as is, but you can basically understand from this table is that eukaryotic cell refers to more advanced cells. So human cell, animal cell, plant cell जो है वो पूरे यूकैरियोटिक सेल्स में आते हैं. बैक्टीरिया, आर्किया ये पूरे प्रोकैरियोटिक सेल में आते हैं. उसमें बहुत सारे ऑर्गेनल्स नहीं रहते ऑल टुगेदर. So it does not have a proper nucleus, it does not have a membrane that will enclose organelles. इसका reproductive mechanism अलग रहता है, but cell wall is not, cell wall even if it is present, it is not as good as this one, which is present in eukaryotic cell. Cytoplasm does not have any cytoskeleton. Ribosomes are smaller. A lot of difference will be there. Prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. But eukaryotic, essentially, it has a eukaryon, meaning true karyon, true nucleus. जो है, ठीक है? They possess a very well-defined nucleus, and in this, the data it is able to handle and the structures that it is able to handle will be much more complex altogether. Okay, cell organelles भी जो है eukaryotic cell में ज़्यादा रहते हैं and they are more complex. They will perform several more functions when compared to a eukaryotic cell. So we'll discuss some of the important ones. First of all comes nucleus, the brain of the cell. It's very, very important. Now, this is a component of cell which contains DNA. Okay, it contains chromosome, it contains DNA, and by the term that we call it a brain of the cell, it means that it is responsible for all the actions that are occurring inside a cell. Okay, whatever happens inside the cell is controlled by the nucleus. Okay. Now, the nucleus itself inside a eukaryotic cell will have a small, component called nucleolus. Nucleolus is the one which is responsible for production of ribosomes. Ribosomal RNA या ribosomes जो बनते हैं, that is made in your nucleolus, right? And your nucleus will also house chromatin material. Chromatin material is essentially your DNA. Okay? DNA which is bound around histone proteins, and it is a very complex structure where you have a lot of binding and you finally get a chromosome out of it. ठीक है, dense जो chromosomes रहते हैं क्या बोलते हैं clump chromosomes, उसको chromatin बोलते हैं. Now, as such, your nucleus is also rich in RNA, particularly ribosomal RNA, which plays a very important role in cell division. Okay, ribosomal RNA, rRNA जो बोलते हैं, rRNA रहता, mRNA रहता, ये पूरे division में बहुत important रहते हैं. Whenever the cell wants to divide, especially by mitosis or by meiosis, that cell needs RNA, mRNA हो या whatever type of RNA it is. Okay, and nucleus as such acts as an information center because we are calling it the brain of the cell. It acts as an information center because more than 90% of the cellular DNA is present inside the nucleus itself. And all the actions that are occurring inside the cell, whether an enzyme is being secreted or whether a protein is being formed, all of it is being controlled by your nucleus. Then we have endoplasmic reticulum. Now, if you're not understanding anything, if you want me to slow down or if you want me to repeat anything, feel free to stop me at any time. Now, this is the endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum जो है बिल्कुल न्यूक्लियस से अटैच्ड रहता. Okay, it is kind of like a continuous envelope that is present outside your nucleus. There are two main types of endoplasmic reticulum. You have your rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. ये rough क्यों है and smooth क्यों है? That rough endoplasmic reticulum is called rough because of the presence of ribosomes. Okay, ribosomes will be attached to one type of endoplasmic reticulum, and that one will be called rough endoplasmic reticulum. The main function of endoplasmic reticulum as such is to give mechanical support, okay, to cytoplasmic matrix and to act as cytoskeleton. That is the main function of your endoplasmic reticulum. Now, depending on the type of endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum का एक specific function रहता, rough endoplasmic reticulum का एक specific function रहता. You can kind of say that an endoplasmic reticulum will act as a circulatory system. Okay, it will circulate proteins, it will circulate lipids, synthesize करता, इधर से इधर करता, उधर से उधर करता. Okay, especially अगर smooth endoplasmic reticulum की बात करें, smooth endoplasmic reticulum is involved in synthesis of lipids, synthesis of fats, lipids से fats बनते हैं आपके, and it is responsible for steroids. So steroids like estrogen, testosterone, ये पूरे जो hormones रहते हैं, इन लोगों को steroid hormones बोलते हैं. Steroid hormones इन लोगों को इसलिए बोलते हैं क्योंकि they have a specific type of ring inside them. Okay, that ring will be present in all steroid hormones. You have epiandrosterone, androsterone, testosterone, estrogen, progesterone. ये पूरे steroidal hormones होते हैं. कोलेस्ट्रॉल से आता है इन लोगों का स्ट्रक्चर. जो स्टीरॉल स्ट्रक्चर है वो स्ट्रक्चर जिसमें भी रहता है उन लोगों को स्टीरॉइड हार्मोन्स बोलते हैं. तो स्मूथ एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम क्या करता? It will synthesize lipids and it will synthesize steroids. All right, steroids specifically like estrogen and testosterone. Then we have rough endoplasmic reticulum. Now, rough endoplasmic reticulum, because it has ribosomes, it is called rough. And ribosomes का एक बहुत important function है, which is protein synthesis. मतलब rough endoplasmic reticulum also takes part in protein synthesis. It will not directly take part, but इन्हों क्या करते हैं? जो भी proteins produce हो रहे हैं उनको pack करके भेज देते हैं. Okay, think of rough endoplasmic reticulum as the stage on which ribosome is working. Okay, imagine it as an office where ribosome is performing protein synthesis. Okay, along with that, endoplasmic reticulum has another important function. It will act as a connecting channel between plasma membrane and nuclear membrane. Okay, because it is continuous with your nuclear membrane, your nucleus itself is covered by a nuclear membrane, and that membrane attaches to or it connects with your cytoplasm using endoplasmic reticulum. All right. So that is about endoplasmic reticulum and some of the functions of endoplasmic reticulum. Then we have Golgi complex. इसको Golgi complex भी बोलते हैं, इसको Golgi apparatus भी बोलते हैं. One important point that we need to remember about Golgi apparatus is that it is present in all cells except erythrocytes. It will not be present in RBCs. Red blood cells जो रहते हैं आपके blood में, which contain hemoglobin and they are responsible for transport of oxygen, very, very important cells. They will not have Golgi complex. Okay. The Golgi complex itself, it is present near your nucleus, and essentially it has a function where it is acting as glycorylation. So glycorylation क्या है? One of the major functions of Golgi apparatus is glycorylation of proteins. तो glycorylation का मतलब क्या रहता? आप एक प्रोटीन ले रहे, ग्लाइकोरिलेशन ऑफ प्रोटीन अगर बोला मैं तो प्रोटीन को ले रहे एंड उसको एक कार्बोहाइड्रेट अटैच कर दे रहे, मेकिंग ग्लाइकोप्रोटीन. I'll repeat once again. One of the main functions of Golgi complex is that it will take proteins, it will attach carbohydrates to it, and it will make glycoproteins. Okay, glycoproteins have several functions. One of the main functions is that it will help in proper functioning of your cell wall. Okay, so not your cell wall, your cell membrane. Or it will help in proper functioning of cell wall in the plants. Now, another important function of Golgi apparatus is that it is the place where lysosomes are made. Okay? Down the line, we'll also discuss what are lysosomes and what is the function of lysosomes. But lysosome is another organ, or lysosome is another cell organelle rather than organ, which is taking origin from your Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus को अगर आप देखें तो it has two ends. एक cis end रहता, ठीक है, and there is a trans end. So one end is closer to the nucleus, ye wala, and there is a trans end. This is the one which is farther away from the nucleus. Okay, that is why the cis and trans end came into picture. It is also involved in the metabolism of sulfate compounds. Any sulfate compounds which is coming inside your cytoplasm, that is getting metabolized and that is getting converted into other compounds. A metabolism में क्या कर रहे हैं आप? Essentially, you are taking one compound and you are converting it into another compound. All right, you are changing the form of the compound. एक सल्फेट को लेके आप उससे कुछ और compound बना रहे हैं. वो conversion of that compound is occurring inside Golgi apparatus. Along with that, it is responsible for processing, sorting, and delivering proteins, lipid, carbohydrates to different parts of the cell. इसका मतलब क्या है? Think of it as a big distribution chamber. और अच्छा, आप लोग Amazon से order करते ना? Now, whenever you order from Amazon, let's suppose you are ordering a shirt. Example. Let's suppose you go to the website of Amazon and you buy some shirt. Let's suppose you are buying a black colored shirt. Okay. Once you hit the button where you buy now and you pay for that, let's suppose you pay or you get cash on delivery, whatever option you choose, it is going to a processing unit. Okay. From a processing unit, it will go to a distribution unit. Distribution unit is similar to what a Golgi apparatus does. यहाँ पर क्या कर रहे हैं? You are taking the product. तो जो फाइनल प्रोडक्ट है इन Amazon केस इट्स अ शर्ट. यहाँ पर Golgi apparatus क्या कर रहा है? It's taking a protein or it is taking a lipid or it is taking a carbohydrate and it is processing it. पहले it will processing in the sense let us suppose इनकी delivery इधर होना है. So this delivery is in Hyderabad. Where does it have to go? Let's suppose Holy Mary College of Nursing. This delivery is to X and Y. Let's suppose it is going to Likha. Example. Okay. There is a shirt that is supposed to go to Likha and address लिख दिया उस पे. वो प्रोसेसिंग फर्स्ट पार्ट हो गया. उसके बाद सॉर्ट कर रहे हैं. अब सॉर्टिंग में क्या कर रहे हैं? पूरे हैदराबाद के ऑर्डर्स अलग करो, एक एक जगह अलग अलग करो. देन इन हैदराबाद अलग अलग एरियाज के ऑर्डर्स अलग करो, सॉर्ट करो. फाइनली इट इज गिवन टू अ delivery guy, wherein the delivery person will come to you in the college and deliver the shirt to you. Right? The same thing is done by your Golgi apparatus. What it will do is it will take a protein, it will take a lipid, or it will take a carbohydrate, whatever is coming into its picture. It will process it, it will sort it, and it will deliver it to different parts of your cell. Wherever those components are needed, वहाँ भेज देता Golgi apparatus. Okay? That's a big distribution unit. It will not necessarily make anything, but it is responsible for sending everything. ये जो आपको नीचे secretory vesicles दिख रहे हैं यहाँ पर, so 1 second, this secretory vesicles that you can see, they will contain the secretions of your Golgi apparatus, meaning whatever protein, lipid, or fat that is, protein, lipids, or carbohydrates that are getting processed and they are getting delivered, they will go in the form of secretory vesicle. Secretory vesicle एक जगह जाता है और वहां पर ओपन होता है. कभी-कभी secretory vesicle exocytose भी हो जाता है, in the sense that whatever is contained inside the secretory vesicle will be thrown out of the cell. Let us suppose your cell wants to secrete some particular enzyme. Example, that enzyme will come to Golgi apparatus. It will get captured by Golgi apparatus and it will be placed inside a secretory vesicle. That secretory vesicle will go all the way up to the edge of the cell and it will get exocytosed. वो vesicle खुल जाता है उधर. I'll show you how exocytosis occurs. Let us suppose this is your cell. ठीक है, या फिर ऐसा उतारेंगे बस. Let us suppose this is your cell. ठीक है, and यहाँ पर Golgi apparatus. There is one enzyme E. This enzyme wants to get exocytosed. The nucleus is ordering its enzyme to get exocytosed. So what will happen? This fellow will go to Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus will capture this enzyme inside a vesicle like this. And this vesicle will essentially start moving towards the cell membrane. ऐसा बाहर जाने की कोशिश करता. Finally, what will happen is, let's suppose that same cell is like this. That vesicle will attach to the cell membrane and it will open on the other end. ऐसा open हो जाता. And what will happen is the enzyme will come out. This is essentially exocytosis. ठीक है, exocytosis होने के लिए भी secretory vesicles का बहुत important role है. Without secretory vesicles, you cannot have proper exocytosis. All right. So I hope you guys are understanding till here. If you have doubts, please feel free to ask. Or if you want me to repeat anything, please feel free to ask. All right. Then we have mitochondria, very important component of the cell. Without mitochondria, essentially your cell will not survive. Okay? So this is the structure of your mitochondria. Mitochondria is a spherical oval rod-like thing. Okay. Erythrocytes do not contain mitochondria. Another important point. Erythrocytes, your RBCs, will not have mitochondria. And mitochondria itself will be responsible for energy metabolism and for respiration, cellular respiration especially. Metabolism क्या है यहाँ पर? Energy metabolism. Whatever you eat, the food that you eat, let's suppose you are eating dal rice, example. Okay, the rice and the dal that you consume, those components will be broken down into smaller parts. So आप जो complex food खा रहे हैं उसको carbohydrates, lipids, proteins में break करके finally क्या करते हैं? आपके cell में induce कर देते हैं, आपके cell में भेज देते हैं. Inside your cells, mitochondria will take responsibility of those individual components. They will help in conversion of that carbohydrate or that lipid or that protein into energy. They will convert that carbohydrate or whatever food you are taking into ATP. That is the energy currency of your body. That is why mitochondria are very, very, very important. Okay? They will metabolize different components that you consume, and that component will be converted into adenosine triphosphate, which is ATP. ATP can be used as energy throughout your body. जहां पर भी energy की जरूरत है, ATP चले आता. It will release phosphate, and once phosphate is released, energy will be released at the same time. Okay? That is how reactions occur in your body. So one of the major functions of mitochondria is releasing energy in the form of ATP. Another important function is it will be involved in metabolic activity. Several different metabolic reactions will occur inside your mitochondria. As we go on, we'll discuss about what different reactions will occur inside mitochondria, but essentially it is a site where several metabolic pathways will take place. Okay? It metabolizes food in the presence of oxygen. It is responsible for cellular respiration. Without mitochondria, you cannot have proper cellular respiration. And if you look closely inside the mitochondria itself, you'll be able to find its own DNA. A little bit of few strands of RNA will be present. It is having a double membrane. You will have F1, F0 particles present inside, which will play a role in different metabolic reactions. ठीक है, बहुत सारी चीजें हो रही आपके mitochondria में. Then we come to lysosomes. Now lysosomes are essentially small spherical components. ठीक है, छोटे छोटे components रहते हैं lysosomes. इनके अंदर एक special type of enzyme रहता है, which is lysosomal enzymes. तो lysosomes का काम क्या है? Whenever a bacteria comes inside your cell, or whenever your cell is about to die, what will happen is this lysosome will rupture, and these enzymes, lysosomal enzymes, are released inside the cell. तो ये cell के अंदर, let's suppose this is the cell. Lysosome जो है एक छोटा सा एक organelle रहता, but it has very, very important, very potent digestive enzymes. It is also called the digestive tract of the cell. ठीक है? Whenever there is a bacteria, or whenever there is a pathogen that is entering, or whenever your cell itself is undergoing autolysis, this fellow will come into picture and it will be able to degrade. Especially when the cell is undergoing autolysis, where let us suppose your cell is not working, your body knows that cell is not working. What your body will do is it will signal the activation of lysosome. Once lysosome is activated, it will start degrading the cell. Lysosome will burst apart, lysosomal enzymes will be released outside, and those enzymes will essentially break down the whole cell altogether, and this will digest the cell. ये digest करने का काम क्या है? Once it is digesting the cell, the components of the cell can be recycled to make new cells. ठीक है? That is why lysosome plays a very important role. Now, clinically, there can be a few diseases. Let's suppose we talk about a disease called gout. Gout में क्या होता? Uric acid बहुत बढ़ जा रहा बॉडी में. There is one particular chemical called uric acid, the concentration of uric acid is increasing quite a lot in the person's body in case of gout. And what happens is, as uric acid level increases, urate crystals will start getting deposited in knee joints. Okay, जो knee रहती patient की, उनके knee में urate crystals will start getting deposited, and these crystals will, when they get phagocytosed, this phagocytosis is occurring because of lysosomes. They will eat that urate crystal literally, and they will cause physical damage to the lysosomes. And once those, lysosomal enzymes are released, that is when inflammation will occur inside your knees and arthritis occurs. Okay, gouty arthritis also. So that is the problem where lysosomes are being damaged, and because of damage to lysosomes, inflammation is occurring. That inflammation is leading to arthritis. Okay. Then we have a few small components. One is cell organelles, that is. One is centrosome. This is how a centrosome looks. Okay. Centrosome जो है, it's an organelle that is present very close to the nucleus. It plays a very important role in cell division. Okay. Especially it takes place in metaphase of cell division. Now anyway, इसके अंदर जो है दो centrioles रहते हैं. ये दो जो daughter centrioles है, they will help in pulling apart your chromatin material. वो टाइम पे ये बहुत काम आते हैं. They will act as two axial ends, and वहां से आपके chromosomes को split apart करते हैं. When we discuss mitosis, we'll discuss about this. I don't think we have mitosis in biochemistry, but when you study about mitosis, anatomy and physiology, that is where you will understand it a little better. Centrioles क्या होते हैं? Two daughter centrioles will go to two ends of the cell, and they will start pulling apart your chromosomes. Your chromosome double होते mitosis के time पे, उन लोगों को अलग करते. Eventually what will happen is the cell itself will divide, and that is how you get two daughter cells. That is why centrioles play a very important role. Then another, it's not exactly an organelle, but it has a function inside your this thing, cell, which is your cell membrane. Cell membrane is very important for maintaining shape of the cell. Without the cell membrane, you will not have any turgidity, and it will not be able to maintain its normal shape. Okay, आपका cell membrane जो है, इसको plasma membrane भी बोलते हैं. Mainly made up of phospholipids, proteins, carbohydrates, a little bit of cholesterol as well, and it is semi-permeable. Semi-permeable का मतलब ये है, it will only allow certain components to come in. It will not allow all components to come in. जो आपका cell wall है, plasma या plasma membrane है, it will not allow bigger components and bigger substances to come in. Only small components are able to enter. It is selectively permeable. उसको वैसा भी बोलते हैं, semi-permeable या selectively permeable. Especially it will control the diffusion of electrolytes, sodium, potassium, calcium, phosphorus. वो पूरे जो electrolytes है, उनका movement will be controlled by your cell membrane. Then we have peroxisomes. Now peroxisomes are also like lysosomes. They are small components, but they have different type of enzyme. The main differences between peroxisome and lysosome is that even though they look physically similar, peroxisomes are made by self-replication, and they contain different type of enzymes. Lysosome में lysozymal enzymes रहते हैं, peroxisome में oxidases रहते हैं. Oxidases rather than hydrolases. Hydrolases are present inside your lysosomes. ये काम किधर आते हैं oxidases? Whenever there is, let's suppose there is an injury because of hydrogen peroxide, H2O2, ठीक है? अगर hydrogen peroxide बहुत बढ़ गया बॉडी में, जब peroxisomal enzymes will be able to neutralize H2O2 into H2O plus O2. Okay, not balancing the reaction, you will have 2H2O2 plus this and this. Okay, but essentially there is one particular enzyme which is present inside your peroxisome called catalase, and that catalase will be able to neutralize any peroxide damage that can occur to the cell. Okay, they are also involved in oxidation of long chain fatty acids. So long chain fatty acids, आप जो lipids खाते or whatever food you eat, that will contain fat, and that fat will get converted into fatty acids. Now you can have big chains of fatty acids. अगर आपके पास बहुत लंबी chain है fatty acid की, it will not get absorbed inside your body. So peroxisome जो है, it will start breaking down those longer chains into shorter chains. so that they can be absorbed inside your body. Right. Then finally, the last component will be your ribosome. Last cell organelle is your ribosome. So this is an example of a ribosome. Now, when we discuss about protein synthesis, we'll go into more detail about the functions of ribosome. But essentially, ribosome is responsible for protein synthesis, and it has two main subunits, whether it be eukaryotic ribosome or prokaryotic ribosome. दो component रहते हैं, एक छोटा component रहता है, एक बड़ा component रहता है. छोटे component eukaryotic cell में जो है, you will have a 70s type of ribosome. In prokaryotic cell, you will have a 70s type of ribosome, and in a eukaryotic cell, you will have 80s type of ribosome. That S is Swedberg unit. Okay. Some other day I'll explain what is S and Swedberg units. But essentially, जो components बना रहे, इसका main function ribosome का ये है कि it will help in protein synthesis. How it will do that, we'll discuss in metabolism of protein. Very important for protein and lipid synthesis actually. It will also take part in lipid synthesis. Without ribosomes, your body will not be able to survive altogether, because proteins are very important for several functions. Without ribosomes, your body will not be able to perform all of those functions. All right. So that is about cell and the organelles of cell. And this is only a brief introduction of your first chapter. We'll discuss about the rest, structure and functions of your cell membrane and all of that. What is permeability, sodium potassium balance, and all of that in the next class. Okay.